Hey everybody, so I'm doing something a little different this week. We're gonna go in a different direction in this channel. It's sort of similar to the Streaming Chronicles, but it's gonna be a lot more focused, more specific to Black films and TV shows. Also, I would say that this series will be different in that I'm not really doing reviews of these things. I mean, more or less, if I'm talking about it, I liked it, but I do want to give my general thoughts on what I liked about these movies and shows. I want to talk about how these shows and movies both can be really entertaining and fun, but also how they can teach a lot about what's going on in the world today. So, let's get right into it. If Beale Street Could Talk is directed by Barry Jenkins and is adapted from the book written by James Baldwin. It stars Kiki Layne, Stephan James, and Regina King. If Beale Street Could Talk tells the story of Tish and Fonnie, a young couple living in Harlem in the early 1970s. Their life is turned upside down when Fonnie is imprisoned for a crime he did not commit. It's up to Tish and their families to prove his innocence. This movie was such a joy, but it was also very heartbreaking when you really look at the reality of this situation. I think this movie is great for understanding how the system works against Black people. One big thing about this movie is that you see what led to Fonnie being in prison, how it involves a racist cop who's played really well by Ed Skrein, and it just shows how no matter what they're doing, it's almost impossible to get him out because in this situation, everything points towards him being the perpetrator of this crime, but in reality, when you look at the other facts there, it just doesn't make sense. But because he's Black, the system just assumes, yep, it's probably right, he probably did it, which is terrible. It's something that's happened throughout US history, and it's still happening today. This is a really great movie for seeing how the justice system works against Black people. I think this is definitely a great example of that. Although they do touch on some heavy topics in this movie, I think they did a great job of showing Black love on screen. This was probably one of my favorite movie couples in a while. Kiki Layne and Stephan James had great chemistry on screen. Every scene that they had together, I really put a smile on my face. I was really rooting for this couple. They do a great job of showing how their relationship grew to be. You see a little bit of their backstory of how they were childhood friends and that slowly evolved into a romantic relationship. There are a lot of sweet moments, but there's also moments where you see how they protect each other, how they stand up for each other. I also think it's important that they showed a dark-skinned couple. I think this is something that you don't see a lot in Hollywood. It's getting better over the years, but you still don't see nearly as many dark-skinned actors at the forefront of movies like this. In terms of storytelling, I think they do a really great job of showing you all the context of what's happening. They do a lot of flashbacks and flash forwards, but it never seems to be incoherent. It all flows together really well. They do a lot of great visual cues, so you kind of have an idea of what time it is in the story without them having to explicitly say it. Let's talk performances. There are great performances across the board. Everybody absolutely killed it. The leads, like I said, had great chemistry. Regina King did great as Tish's mom. She was very supportive, but you can see she was also heartbroken to see what her daughter had to go through with her lover being locked away for something he didn't do. And you see her persistence, her perseverance in trying to help Fonnie get free. That was, I think, one of the most compelling parts of the movie. There are also some great supporting performances. I'm not going to name all the people because some of them were kind of a surprise to me. I didn't even know they were in the movie. So I want to let that still be a surprise, but there was a lot of great actors in this movie that I didn't expect to see, and they all did a really great job of elevating the story and making it so compelling. This movie is available on Hulu, and I think it gives really great historical context to what Black people have had to face throughout the history of the United States. It really talks about how the system works against us, and I think you really get an idea of that. You really get to see it firsthand in this movie. Again, it's not only about the heavy stuff, but also has a great display of Black love. These two young adults, it's them against the world. No matter what, they still have each other's back. They keep fighting for each other. It's really inspiring, and it did put a smile on my face seeing these two together. I definitely recommend you check this one out if you get the chance. So if you've seen If Beale Street Could Talk, what did you think about it? Let me know down in the comments. Also, don't forget to like this video, share, and subscribe. I will continue covering more Black movies and TV shows. If there's one you want me to talk about, let me know down in the comments, and I will get around to watching it. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.